Hey guys, I'm sorry I couldn't be there today, but today should be a pretty easy day, just full of some geometry terms that I'm sure you've seen a lot of before. This is just going to be a reminder of all the different terms and symbols. So this first page, these are all the different symbols that are going to come up in our unit. So note the difference between how we say something is an arc, a line segment, and a ray, because all of those involve two letters, but the symbol on top is important. You should also be familiar with the congruent symbol and the symbol for an angle. And of course, a degree symbol that tells you something is measuring an angle. All right, so on the pages with the words at the bottom, if you are struggling to match a word to the definition, go to Google and type in the word and pull up the definition of the word. And if it looks like it has a meaning other than math, then just keep searching through until you find the mathematical meaning, or type in the word and like maybe the word triangle or circle or geometry to help you narrow it down. But a lot of these you've probably heard before, but definitely look them up if you're unsure. All right, same thing on this side. You've probably already heard of these. That is not supposed to say scalenal. That L at the end is a typo. That's just supposed to say scalene. And so each of those triangles has two classifications. One word is going to describe the sides, and a second word is going to describe the angles. So that's why there's two lines. The circle you should be familiar with. So those are the three definitions that go with a circle. All right, again on this word, this has to do with some angles. So if you're unsure of which word is going to match, go to Google, look them up. You might again have to put like the word angle or something after it. If you can't find it, search for the word and then geometry or something like that. All right, this slide, there are way more than one right answer for all of these. I expect this slide to have some mistakes. So we will definitely go over everything tomorrow, but we will spend time on this slide in particular, making sure that all of the different angles that you saw, we can check and see if they were right. But there are a lot of vertical angles in this picture. There's a lot of complementary, maybe not too many complementary, but there's definitely a lot of parallel lines. So don't think if you got an answer different from your neighbor, you could both possibly be right. All right, again, definitions at the bottom. So if you're unsure, you can look them up in Google. This slide is teaching you how to read an arc. So just follow and trace in the order of the letters and you'll be okay. And you can probably guess the difference between which one is called a major arc and which one is called a minor arc. And I will give you a hint, that little piece of pie is the sector. All right, so again, if you're unsure, look up the words at the bottom. And by process of elimination, you could probably figure most of these out. All right, so this slide, again, we're definitely going to go over in great detail on Friday to make sure that you have identified these correct. You will have a quiz on the vocabulary, and it's going to look pretty similar to this slide. So I would make sure that you really try this slide on your own, and then definitely pay attention when we're going over it in case you have some misconceptions or you thought that a wrong answer was right. We can talk about what mistakes you were making. All right, for these two, you're going to have to set up an equation to solve for what x is equal to. And then the question is asking you to find the measure of an angle, which means after you solve for x, you should plug it back in. So these two angles in particular, I'm not going to give you the answers, but I will tell you that one of these pictures shows two supplementary angles, which is also called a linear pair. And supplementary means that when you combine them together, they equal 180. The other picture is representing two complementary angles, which means when you add them together, you get 90 degrees. So use that to help you set up your equation. Again, it's totally okay to struggle. We will go over these on Friday, but try your best to set them up. And remember that you learn way faster from making mistakes than just copying correct answers. All right, same thing on this side. One of these should look the same as on the previous slide, so you'd set that up the same way. And one of them, you can probably tell by looking at the picture. With angles and parallelograms and circles, a lot of times if two things look equal, they just might be equal. But there is a definition on one of the other slides that goes with that second problem. All right, but again, we will go over these on Friday. I will be checking through to see who actually tried and who did not. Remember, you're going to learn way more from mistakes, and mistakes are encouraged. So this way you can ask me a bunch of questions on Friday and really get a good understanding of these vocabulary words.